Hi, I'm Evan, and I am super inconsistent. I meant to make a video like a month and a half ago for my 6 months, um, and I didn't, because I forgot. I made a voice comparison though, like with my singing voice, compared me singing a song from November of last year versus November of this year, which I'll probably post as a separate video. Um, Yeah, and I didn't make a 7 months video a couple weeks ago, so I'm doing great. Um, so I figured I would just kind of make a recap video now. Um, so as of right now, I'm about 7.5 months on testosterone. Um, my start date was May 10th, 2019, so yeah, like 7.5 months, almost 8. Um, so yeah, I just figured I would go over I guess, the changes overall over the past couple of months. Um, so, first and foremost, I think the most notable change is my voice. It has dropped a lot uh, in the past however many months. I think the first couple months it wasn't super noticeable. I would say the first 3 or 4 months it wasn't. Well, the first 3 months it wasn't like super noticeable. It kind of just sounded like I had a cold. And then after 3 months is when it really dropped and became like, oh yeah, I sound a lot more like a guy, um, which is great. So yeah, my voice is much lower than it was before, and again, I'll probably post that singing voice comparison as a separate video. Uh, and but yeah, I think that's the biggest change that I've experienced, um, and it's helped a lot in terms of passing because even though I don't dress super masculine, I still have a deep voice, and so other people are like, "Oh, okay, just a guy." Um, so that works out pretty great. Other than my voice changes, I have definitely noticed changes in my face and my body shape. So prior to starting testosterone, I wasn't exactly the curviest, but I definitely had like really thick thighs, and like a pretty cinched, yeah, a pretty cinched waist, like, um, proportionate to I guess the rest of me. Like I still had really broad shoulders, but then my waist went like that, which kind of sucked. So I had like a really feminine body type, which showed a lot in the clothes that I wore. So I couldn't really fit into men's clothing properly. Um, but since being on testosterone, that's changed a lot. Like a lot of the clothes that I bought a couple months ago doesn't fit me quite right because I bought it for my like wider thighs and hips, and that's not really like what I have anymore. Uh, my thighs are still pretty big, but they're big in like a muscular way, and they're not big on the sides as much. Because I lost a lot of body fat both through activity and just, I guess, I don't know, in general, losing weight. Um, and then yeah, so I guess muscle mass has increased. Uh, and then other than that, my shoulders have gotten a bit broader. Prior to starting testosterone, they were about 19 inches across, which is fairly broad. And now they're like 22, 23 ish inches across. And as for like my hips and my waist, I don't know how wide my hips were, but my waist was like 27 to 29 inches, and now it's pretty much like straight. It's like a 30, 32. Um, Whereas my hips have gotten narrower. So then overall, I have much more of like a masculine outline, which is great because it makes shopping for men's clothes a lot easier. Um, because I don't have to account for as wide of hips. Like I just buy like, um, I guess what's the term, like athletic fit, which is like for guys that have I guess more muscular legs, and that tends to fit me pretty well. So yeah, uh, that's been a pretty significant change, which is pretty great. Um, I've noticed some changes in my face as well, not super extreme. I think I still look pretty similar to how I did before, but I guess my features look a little less soft, like my jawline especially. I don't feel is as curved. I don't feel like my face looks as round. I still have a pretty round face, but it's not as much as it was before. Um, so yeah. Uh, Aside from that, oh, body hair, I guess, is another thing that has changed. So I think I've touched on this before, but my leg hair has definitely, I guess, gotten thicker and like more prominent. Like it's a lot more visible, but that happened pretty early on. I would say like 3 months in, um, was when I really started seeing that. Same with like the hair on my stomach. Um, the hair on my arms, though, that's only a recent thing. Is it like kind of visible and it's really fine, but I kind of expected that because prior to starting testosterone, I had like no visible body hair on my arms or my legs. So, yeah, so just even though it's pretty fine still, it's starting to show up more. And then my facial hair, I can kind of see it when I look at my camera. I can kind of see that I look like I have a shadow on my lip, and that's how I look most of the time. I have like vaguely visible facial hair, which is interesting, and it's kind of bothering me, and I kind of want to shave it, but I don't have a razor, so I just have to deal with it for now. But yeah, so my facial hair is definitely becoming more visible, like above my lip. It's there, uh, really fine, but it's there and dark. Um, and then I have like hair growing here, although it's growing kind of weird because I have a scar on my chin, so it's like it's weird. Um, but it's there, and there are certain hairs on there that are like dark and really thick, um, and it's really annoying because it looks weird. But I can't really do much about it. I personally, facial hair is not something that I was like looking forward to. Like that's not one of the reasons that I really wanted to start tea. It's just something that I knew would kind of come with it, and I'm fine with it. I just would prefer to shave it, I guess. So yeah, that's starting to become more visible. Like the peach fuzz on the side of my face is darker than it was before. Like before it was, I guess, a blonde, light brown. Now it's like the color of the rest of my hair, so it's more visible. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but yeah, those are mostly the things that have changed over the past couple months. And I don't know, the past, I would say, 2 months, things have been pretty steady. Obviously, like my voice has been dropping continually, um, and it's dropping a lot. Uh, like I knew that it would drop, and I had a relatively deep voice prior to starting tea, but I didn't expect that it would drop this much. Like my entire range is just way lower. I can't even reach most of the notes that I could before. Um, yeah, it's really weird and really different for me. But I mean, it's cool, and it's, I guess, definitely helpful in terms of passing. So like I'm not mad about it. I just wasn't expecting such a drastic difference. Um, but yeah, uh, other than that, changes haven't been like super out there. I'm just generally passing more, um, and not only am I passing more to like other people, but mentally I'm in a much more comfortable headspace. Like obviously I haven't had like top surgery or anything like that, but I'm in a much more like happy space with myself. I don't feel as uncomfortable when I look at myself. I see myself as more masculine, and that makes me a lot happier. So even though like my depression isn't totally cured, I've noticed that in the past couple of months, it's gotten a lot less like extreme, like fatalistic. Like I don't feel like, oh my god, I look awful and this is the end of the world and I hate myself. It's just like um, I still recognize my flaws, but I'm more okay with where I'm at, which is great. Like I feel just generally way healthier as a person, and it's made me a lot happier. So yeah, I'm really content with that, and looking forward to seeing myself become more comfortable with where I'm at. Um, as for me making other like update videos, I don't know how consistently I can do that. I'll probably make them once every couple months. But I was kind of thinking of making videos on other things relating to me being trans, especially because like I'm a musician, and I sing sometimes, and I kind of wanted to talk about, you know, my experiences with uh, say like my singing voice dysphoria, because that was something that was actually a huge concern for me before I started T. I was worried that I was gonna like hate my singing voice, and I don't. It's just really different. So I was thinking of talking about that, talking about like how I've adjusted to having such a different voice, and then also talking about the fact that I play a wind instrument. I play the flute, and it is really hard sometimes with binding. So I kind of wanted to talk about that, especially being in marching band, because that's something that I've done, and it's really hard when you're binding. And then just the experiences of being trans in school, in band, and like uniforms and all of that. Um, so I figured that could be something interesting, and then also talking about like my struggles with finding good representation, because obviously I'm brown, and I'm not like skinny or particularly tall or anything like that. So I don't exactly fit the archetype of trans guys that I've seen so often on YouTube. So it's been really hard for me to find people that look like me and um, sort of have similar aesthetics to me, because then, you know, even amongst the brown trans community, it's harder for me to find guys that maybe aren't super masculine because I'm not. So, you know, when it comes to finding like style inspiration or anything like that, I sort of have to figure things out on my own, or kind of adapt other people's styles to fit my skin color and body type and just my general level of comfort with myself. So I figured like that could be something interesting and worth talking about, even if no one's gonna see it, because like it's not like anyone watches these. But it would be nice to kind of get my thoughts out on all of that stuff. So yeah, that's my 7.5 months slash end of the year recap, I guess. I will try to make another video at some point about something. I don't know what, but we'll see. So yeah, bye.